Their plantations.
So 20% came from America.
Yeah.
80% from Asia.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is about to start crying.
So it's like most of the people from there like originated from west, and by the time when there was like a civil war, there was some who been sent to liberate what we call Liberia today, and those were the days when over here it became as a trade. So
before you tell me,
yeah,
I smell like this weird smell.
Wheat?
No, it doesn't look weed. I don't know what it is. Okay, never mind.
No, it's like ocean because we are close by to the sea. So it's like when we got a heavy rain, the water is like going down. So we got like a weird smell.
You said weed. Oh my Lord. How big would you say this place is?
Can dare say like how many square kilometers? How was it square meters?
This is insane.
Yeah, but this room used to be for male slaves. So it depends on the season of the business. There were some who spent up to the maximum number of 50 men in here.
50 men?
50.
For how long?
Depending when they get here and when it's the auction day. There were some who spent up to 3 nights in here.
50 men in here.
When the auction was in here, they were practiced twice a week. Let's assume Wednesday and Saturday. So it depends. If a slave gets in here on Thursday and the market is on Saturday, obviously 48 hours. Likewise, like if he come on the Wednesday evening when the auction is shut down, so he has to wait until the next one.
Wow.
Yeah, so by then from the lagoon which was outside, they made a drainage that seawater used to get in but doesn't exceed that level.
And so they had to sleep all up here.
Yeah.
So
matter of fact, not that sleeping, like standing or sit, because in a number of 50, then obviously they had to stand. And at that moment,
how can they stand with the ceiling?
This roof came at the moment when they were building a hospital.
Oh,
at the exhibition room, you will see some pictures like they used to roof with a coconut thatch.
Oh.
So it was higher than this, where people were able to stand in here.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's the original size of the window.
And can you repeat it? I'm sorry. You said they built the hospital after?
After like 7 years after the abolishing it or turning it from legal to illegal. Because it will continue until 1909 as illegal trade.
Okay.
They only swapped the area from the Stone Town to the Mangapwani Caves.
75 women and kids.
Yeah, though kids were not sold at that time, they were only affected with the slave trade due to the method of catching slaves. Speaking of how they got slaves, those traders used to cooperate with the native African from this area who were able to speak different African languages and their language. So there will be like a middleman. They will walk until to the central of Africa or southern parts, and those native African were the one who interpret between them and the landlord of those areas. They used to go with the new things. If it was today, I could say they could go with iPad, laptops, but in those days they used to go with pieces of new clothes and guns, meet with the landlord, teach him how to use a gun, and convince him like, if you got this, you will be superior. So how about we giving you these 20 guns and you're supposed to give out like, let's say 50 of your men who are in jail, those who disobey you. So if he's interested, he do exchange. Doesn't want to betray his own people, they give him another option like going to the nearest area and collecting people on behalf. So if he tried to be loyal within his society and neighborhood area, that's the moment he keep kids in risk.
Wow.
Because those people will leave the area in a peaceful way, but only few miles away, and coming back at night and attack the village by burning their houses. So at the moment they escape from fire, that's the time they're catching them. And through that kind of disaster, no woman in the world will dare to run away and leave the kid inside, get burned. So that's the moment it was easy to recognize that kid belonged to that lady, because they will come out all. So from here, from that tree, that's the place where family typical split apart. The only kid who was like 100% sure to go with a mom, biological mom, is the one who's still taking breast. A grown-up one was just giving as a bonus to anybody who buy a strong slave. And there was
so they get a bonus kid if they buy a strong slave.
It was like a motivator to a father.
Wow.
Because it doesn't make a sense. I took you from a central of Africa, take a long walk, and over here, let's say your values within $500 to $700, and come and sell you in $100. So in order for you not to fail me, I will like giving you an option. From that tree, you are supposed to act strong. If you act strong, you have a big chance of going with your kid. If you fail, I'll fail you too.
Wow.
So it was like,
if you fail, you don't bring your kid, but if you succeed, so back to America and the slave trade. Europeans would come here. And
at the west of Africa.
The west of Africa.
Yeah, we call it the triangle.
Okay.
From England to Ghana of today, Mali, Guinea, and in Ghana, they had a terrible one. There was a place called like a point of no return. They were doing like on the coral caves.
Right.
And that cave had like a sea channel that came in. You getting sick, they just throw you there and you'll be the food of sharks. And in Mauritius, they had like a terrible area. They were putting people on the mountains. And those who didn't want like I'd rather die than be a slave, they would jump out.
Yeah, they would jump out the boat.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
But we thank God.
And that's in Senegal too.
Yeah. We thank God those things are. Before 1880s, Africa was like one continent and it had no boundary. The way you are in US, like Colorado and all, it's all United States.
Right.
We had the same thing, but from 1880, that's we call the scramble and partition of Africa, which was done in Berlin.
In Berlin.
Yeah.
In a whole different country.
Yeah.
A different continent. They're trying to divide Africa.
German,
Wow.
French will be on the central. These British will be on this side and this. So before that happened, we had what so-called explorers. Because you cannot tell me like Livingstone came and found out the Victoria Falls.
Right.
How about those Zambians who were there?
Right.
They had their own name like Moshika One, which was like African name. He only converted from African term to English name.
Wow.
Yeah. So through the time of exploration, that was the time when Livingstone was trying to find the source of River Nile. You know, they were trying to find potential area and try to colonize that area so they can earn out of it. So by then, after finding out there is a big river in Africa that crossed almost like 5 countries, and that's what we call River Nile.
River Nile.
From the central of Africa, we got like Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. were all connected with the Victoria Lake.
Right.
And from that lake, that's where that river starts, going all the way to the north and pour its water to the Red Sea. So he was trying to find the source of it, and that was the moment he came on this side. And from home, that's where they had like a civil wars stopping slavery in 1850s. That was like going to the end of slavery, the triangle, from England to Africa to US. And US get cotton and other stuff going back to England. So we call it the triangle. Like British coming to Africa, grabbing people, take them to US, doing their plantation, getting some commodity, going back. So it was like, so when it was illegal, that's the beginning on the other side. So when he came over here, over there, they were like stopping it. So the only penetration was coming through slavery. So they went and organized themselves. They came with a missionary thing. They came, fight against slavery, and the only empire was this church.
Wow.